10 cars that prove you don't need crazy horsepower to have fun. Toyota 86. The Toyota 86 is the kind of car that proves driving can be fun without needing crazy horsepower. Rear-wheel drive, lightweight chassis, and a manual gearbox that feels perfectly weighted. Every corner teaches you something about control and balance. It's not fast in a straight line, but it makes every turn, every swoop, and every twist of the road feel alive. This car isn't about bragging rights, it's about connection. Part of what makes the 86 special is how intuitive it feels. You can feel the tire's grip, sense the weight shift, and adjust smoothly through corners. It's a car that rewards finesse over brute force, making even a normal drive engaging. Keep it stock or lightly modified, and it delivers a driving experience that sticks with you long after the commute is over. The Toyota 86 is also surprisingly practical for a sports car. It's modern enough to handle daily driving with airbags, decent tech, and a comfortable interior. But when the road opens up, it transforms into a lightweight, balanced, corner-hugging machine that reminds you why driving can actually be fun. Mazda Miata NC is the slightly bigger, slightly more modern version of the classic Miata formula. Built from 2006 to 2015, it kept the same simple recipe: lightweight, rear-wheel drive, and a manual transmission that makes you want to keep shifting just for fun. Under the hood is a naturally aspirated 2.0-liter four-cylinder, making around 158 to 170 horsepower, depending on the year, which isn't huge power. But in a car that weighs around 2,500 pounds, it's more than enough to keep things exciting. What makes the NC special is how approachable it feels. The steering is communicative, the chassis is balanced, and the car rewards smooth driving instead of brute force. You sit low, the hood stretches out just enough to make you feel like you're in a tiny race car, and every corner feels like an event. It's quick enough to be fun, but forgiving enough that you can actually learn how to drive well. Momentum, throttle control, and weight transfer all start to make sense behind the wheel. Of course, it's still a Miata, which means you accept the compromises. The cabin is tight, storage is almost non-existent, and road noise is just part of the experience. But that's the trade-off for a pure driving machine. The NC might not be the smallest Miata ever made, but it still delivers the same core idea: a simple, lightweight sports car that turns every drive into something you look forward to. Honda Civic Si. So the Civic Si is one of those cars that proves fun doesn't need crazy horsepower. It's quick, responsive, and always ready to go. Turn the key and it starts every morning like an excited golden retriever. The 2.4-liter engine loves to rev. The 6-speed manual feels tight and satisfying, and the steering gives you enough feedback to actually enjoy the road instead of just driving through it. What makes the Civic Si great is how easy it is to live with. It's still a Civic, which means it's practical, reliable, and inexpensive to maintain. Parts are everywhere, every mechanic knows how to work on it, and the community around these cars is huge. You can daily drive it, road trip it, or push it hard on a back road without constantly worrying about something breaking. Sure, some of them have paint or clear coat issues, but that's cosmetic stuff. The important parts, the engine, transmission, and chassis, are built to last, and that's why the Civic Si is so loved. It's the kind of car that quietly turns a normal commute into something fun and makes you take the long way home, even without massive power. Volkswagen GTI. The Volkswagen GTI is one of the best all-around cars you can buy. It's practical, comfortable, and just quick enough to keep things interesting. It's the kind of car that feels thoughtfully engineered, smooth on the daily commute, but still ready to have fun when the road gets twisty. The turbocharged engine has plenty of punch and the chassis feels balanced and confident. But the GTI also has a reputation, and most of it comes down to how the previous owner treated it. A well-maintained GTI is fantastic, refined, quick, and genuinely enjoyable to drive. A neglected one, though, can turn into a long list of repairs. That's why finding a good example matters so much. Service records, careful ownership, and minimal questionable modifications make all the difference. Get a clean one, and the GTI becomes one of the most satisfying daily drivers you can own. It can handle the commute, road trips, grocery runs, and still make a back road fun at the end of the day. It's practical when you need it to be, playful when you want it to be, a true-to-everything hatchback with just enough turbo excitement. Nissan 350Z. The Nissan 350Z is the classic choice if you want a real sports car without spending serious sports car money. It has the right ingredients: rear-wheel drive, a strong V6 engine, and a chassis that actually wants to be pushed. The long hood, wide stance, and low driving position make it feel like a proper performance car the moment you sit in it. It's not pretending to be sporty, it actually is. What makes the 350Z fun is how raw and connected it feels. The VQ engine has plenty of power, the car feels planted in corners, and the driving experience is simple in the best way. There's also a huge aftermarket scene, so if you want to modify it later, there are endless options. From suspension upgrades to exhaust systems, the Zeed has one of the biggest enthusiast communities out there. The biggest thing with the 350Z is finding a good one. A lot of them have been driven hard, modified poorly, or neglected over the years. That's why it's worth taking your time and paying for the cleanest example you can find. A well-maintained 350Z is an absolute blast to drive. A beat-up one, though, can quickly turn into a project you didn't plan for. Infiniti G37. If you want real power and real rear-wheel drive character without spending a fortune, the Infiniti G37 G37 is hard to ignore. Under the hood is Nissan's 3.7-liter VQ-V6, an engine that pulls hard and sounds great when you step on it. Every time you hit the throttle, it has that moment where you go, okay, yeah, this thing moves. It's quick enough to feel exciting, but still comfortable enough to drive every day. Part of the appeal is how versatile the G37 is. You can get it as a coupe if you want something sporty, or a sedan if you want a more practical daily driver. There's even an all-wheel drive version if you deal with rough weather. The platform is well known, parts are easy to find, and mechanics are familiar with it, which makes ownership a lot easier compared to some other performance cars. The main trade-off is fuel and how the previous owner treated it. The G37 likes premium gas, and some examples have lived a pretty hard life with owners who enjoyed sliding the rear tires a little too much. That's why finding a clean, well-maintained one matters. But if you do, the G37 delivers a lot of performance and personality for the money. One of the best fun per dollar cars you can find. Acura RSX Type S. The Acura RSX Type S is the kind of car that makes even a boring commute feel a little more exciting. It's compact, lightweight, and built around one of Honda's best high-revving engines. Step on the gas, and the engine just keeps climbing, begging for more revs. Pair that with a slick 6-speed manual and a responsive chassis, and suddenly every on-ramp or corner feels like a small event. Part of the magic of the RSX Type S is that you can drive it hard without needing crazy speeds. It's quick and agile, but still approachable, which makes it perfect for daily driving. Because it's based on Honda engineering, reliability is usually excellent if the car has been maintained properly. Basic maintenance goes a long way with these cars. The RSX also has a huge enthusiast community behind it. Parts are easy to find, knowledge is everywhere, and there are countless ways to modify or personalize the car if you want to. But even completely stock, the RSX Type S is already a fun and rewarding little driver's car that proves you don't need massive horsepower to enjoy the road. Toyota Echo. The Toyota Echo manual is proof that you don't need style points to have fun. Small, light, and painfully simple, it's the kind of car that lets you drive like a kid with a go-kart. Drop the clutch, ring it out, and giggle through corners without ever worrying about ruining it. It's cheap, cheerful, and endlessly forgiving. Its fun comes from being completely unpretentious. You can push it to 10/10, laugh at yourself, and still be well under the speed limit. Fuel economy is excellent, the handling is surprisingly nimble, and it's just a car that makes everyday driving a little more entertaining. Reliability is almost absurd. These little machines are tough, surviving years of commuting, parking lot scrapes, and questionable previous owners. The Toyota Echo manual doesn't ask for much. It just gives you a simple, stress-free, surprisingly playful driving experience. Honda Fit. The Honda Fit might look like a simple little hatchback, but with a manual transmission, it becomes something way more entertaining. It's small, lightweight, and incredibly easy to throw around corners. The steering feels lively, the shifter is smooth, and the engine is happy when you push it toward the higher revs. It's the kind of car that makes everyday driving feel playful, even if you're just running errands around town. What makes the Fit special is how practical it is while still being fun. Honda's famous Magic Seats let you fold and configure the interior in different ways, so you can haul bikes, boxes, groceries, or almost anything you need. It's easy to park, easy to maintain, and incredibly reliable. Fuel economy is great, and replacement parts are affordable, which makes it one of the easiest cars to live with as a daily driver. That's why so many people recommend it. The Honda Fit isn't trying to be a high-performance sports car. It's just an honest, well-designed little machine. And when you're shifting through the gears and carrying speed through corners, it reminds you that fun doesn't always come from big horsepower. Sometimes it comes from a small car that simply does everything right. Ford Fiesta ST. The Ford Fiesta ST is the kind of car that surprises you. It's small, it's turbocharged, and it comes with a manual transmission. But the real magic is how alive it feels on the road. The moment you start pushing it through corners, the chassis wants to rotate and play, almost like a tiny rally car. It's light, quick to respond, and full of personality. What makes the Fiesta ST special is that you don't need insane speeds to have fun. Even at normal driving speeds, the turbo spools, the exhaust makes little pops, and the car feels eager to move. Second gear, a twisty road, and suddenly you're laughing because it feels way faster and more exciting than the numbers suggest. It's one of those cars that turns an ordinary drive into something memorable. Another big reason people love it is the community around the car. The aftermarket scene is massive, with tons of upgrades, guides, and support from other owners. Just make sure you find a clean example that hasn't been heavily abused or poorly tuned. Take care of it, maybe upgrade the brakes if you plan to push it hard, and you'll end up with a small, chaotic little hot hatch that's ridiculously fun to drive.